Before World War II, Europe was a patchwork of nations and cultures, with Jewish communities woven into its fabric for centuries. In cities from Warsaw to Vienna, Jewish people were neighbors, artists, and business owners, contributing to vibrant societies. Yet, beneath the surface, the scars of World War I and a crushing economic depression left millions anxious and searching for answers. In this climate, extremist ideas began to take root, exploiting fear and uncertainty. The Holocaust emerged not in isolation, but amid the chaos of a global conflict, World War II, where violence and upheaval masked the rise of systematic persecution. Jewish people, like so many others, could not have foreseen the catastrophe that would soon engulf them. To understand what followed, we must remember this world, diverse, creative, but deeply vulnerable. They stood unknowingly on the edge of a tragedy that would shatter their lives and reshape history. In the early 1930s, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party seized power in Germany, offering scapegoats for the nation's woes. Their ideology, rooted in racism, targeted Jews and other minorities as threats to a so-called master race. Once in control, the Nazis dismantled democracy and unleashed relentless propaganda to spread hate. The 1935 Nuremberg Laws stripped Jews of citizenship and rights, turning prejudice into official policy. This legal discrimination isolated Jewish people, making persecution not just acceptable, but required. The Nazis exploited fear and resentment, laying the groundwork for escalating violence. What began as hateful rhetoric became law, and then action, showing how quickly a society can descend into cruelty. The stage was set for tragedy on an unimaginable scale. As the 1930s wore on, Nazi laws expanded, pushing Jews out of public life and crippling them economically. Jewish professionals lost their jobs, businesses were seized, and families were isolated from society. Children were expelled from schools. Public spaces became forbidden. The goal was clear: to make life unbearable and force Jews to leave everything behind. In November 1938, Kristallnacht marked a turning point. Nazi mobs destroyed synagogues, shops, and homes, and thousands were arrested or killed. After Kristallnacht, new restrictions piled on identity cards, passport stamps, curfews. The relentless rules stripped away rights, property, and dignity, leaving Jewish communities vulnerable and alone. This systematic isolation was psychological warfare, breaking spirits and preparing the way for even darker times. The world watched as discrimination turned to violence and violence to terror. The machinery of persecution was now fully in motion. With the outbreak of World War II, Nazi persecution intensified as Germany invaded Poland and occupied Eastern Europe. Millions of Jews were forced into ghettos, overcrowded walled-off districts with starvation rations and rampant disease. Families were torn from their homes and crammed into these desperate spaces. Despite the horror, people organized secret schools, religious services, and cultural events, clinging to dignity and hope. Ghettos were never meant to last. They were holding pens before the next phase of Nazi plans. Isolated from the world, these communities became invisible, making mass deportations easier. From the ghettos, the path led directly to the camps and the final solution. In 1941, the Nazis launched the final solution: the systematic industrial murder of Jews across Europe. Extermination camps like Auschwitz and Treblinka became factories of death, hidden from public view. Victims were transported in cattle cars, enduring days without food or water. Upon arrival, most were sent straight to gas chambers. Others faced starvation, forced labor, and brutality. Life expectancy in the camps was measured in weeks. The operation was vast, involving countless officials, guards, and collaborators. 6 million Jews were murdered, alongside millions of other victims: Roma, Poles, Soviet POWs, and the disabled. The Holocaust stands as history's most chilling example of state-sponsored, industrialized genocide. Its scale and cruelty remain almost impossible to comprehend. By 1945, Allied forces closed in on Nazi Germany, uncovering the camps and the full horror of the Holocaust. Soviet troops liberated Majdanek, then Auschwitz. Americans and British freed Buchenwald, Bergen-Belsen, and Dachau. The world was confronted with emaciated survivors and undeniable evidence of mass murder. Newsreels and photographs documented the atrocities, ensuring the truth could not be denied. For survivors, liberation brought relief but also immense loss and trauma. Their families and communities destroyed. The war's end sparked a global reckoning. The Nuremberg trials prosecuted Nazi leaders for crimes against humanity. Survivors' testimonies became vital records, ensuring their stories would not be forgotten. The liberation of the camps marked both an end and a beginning, a long journey toward justice and remembrance. Humanity was forced to confront the depths of its own darkness. The Holocaust's lessons remain urgent today, warning of the dangers of unchecked hatred and indifference. Memorials and museums worldwide preserve evidence and honor victims, teaching new generations. International Holocaust Remembrance Day on January 27th calls us to reflect and recommit to never again. The Holocaust teaches empathy, courage, and the need to defend human rights for all. Survivor stories and acts of resistance remind us of the resilience of the human spirit. Remembering is a civic duty. By honoring the victims, we protect the future. Forgetting is not an option. Memory is our safeguard against repeating history. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching.